and this is focused on Liberia. Hit it! From Camah to Panelist, mountain back to Atlantic Ocean, over me hills to full country, to educate, elevate, and promote. Yeah, focus on Liberia. For Liberia, Liberia. For Liberia, yeah. From Monday to Sunday. From Monday to Sunday. It's focus on Liberia. Talk about home affairs. Hey. In diaspora. Foreign affairs. Reliable information. History. Talking about culture. Politics. Education. Entertainment. Business. Sports. Advertisement. Articulation. Focus on Liberia. Focus on Liberia. Focus on Liberia. From Monday to Sunday. Focus on.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Focus on Liberia. My name is Dennis Jar, and we are broadcasting from Atlanta, Georgia. Tonight, we confront a national paradox. Liberia is rich in minerals, yet poor in outcomes. From gold to iron ore, our soil holds extraordinary wealth. But our system do not reflect the wealth, our communities do not tell it, and our national accounts do not capture it. Between 2007 and 2023, mining companies officially paid the government of Liberia just over $844 million. But importing countries reported receiving $7.8 billion worth of Liberian minerals. That is a staggering $2.7 billion discrepancy. This is not a rounding error. This is structural failure. Tonight, we ask the question that matters. What do we actually have? Who is mining? At what cost? Why can Liberia account for its own natural resources? And what would change if Liberia created its own national mining company like Ghana, Guinea, and Sierra Leone have already done? To help us unpack this, we have joined by three experts who understand the mining sector from the ground, from the environment, and from the financial system. Their insights will help us understand not just what is happening, but what must change if Liberia is to finally benefit from its own resources. So our topic tonight, who mining in Liberia, who benefits? First, we are joined by Dr. Brutus Cooper. Dr. Cooper is a board-certified licensed professional geologist with a Master of Science in Geology, over 25 years experience in minerals and petroleum exploration, and a PhD in environmental science. He's also Associate Professor of Geology and Environmental Science. Dr. Cooper, we are glad to have you. Welcome back to Focus on Liberia.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
We are muted. I can't hear.
We can hear you. Also joining us is Dr. Maurice Tennessee Koffa. Dr. Koffa, can you hear me?
We are muted, Mr. Jar.
No, I can hear you. If you have to go out and come back in, probably that will help, but I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, thanks. I'm glad to be here.
Dr. Koffa, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Dr. Cooper.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, I can hear you. Dr. Koffa, please go out and come back in. I don't know why you can hear me, but I can hear you very well.
No, I can hear you.
Yeah, no, Dr. Cooper, you are fine. I'm only talking to Dr. Koffa.
Okay.
And Dr. Mulabah too went off. Dr. Koffa, please go out and come back in. That may help. Also, let me welcome Dr. Camah Mulabah. Dr. Mulabah is also a mining
I can't
engineer.
hear. I don't know why.
And he used to be at Bombing Hills, now Bombing Holes. Dr. Mulabah, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. I also like to add that I am from Kwadu Bonin District, Marvin Wanadu. I was born in Sakwanadu. If you go to Marvin Wanadu and say, I'm looking for Dr. Camah Mulabah, you might find me, but that's not the need to know me about this. Commonly, if you say Cassian Camah, they will find because that's how we need your mother name first, and then your name. So I'm happy to be here.
All right. We want to welcome all our viewers from across the globe. Dr. Koffa is having some technical problems. Dr. Cooper, if you can adjust your camera a little bit because your head is through the roof. All right, so that's better. And we are also waiting for Mr. Gabriel Tabito Carter. Gabriel is the financial guy, so he's going to join us so we can put this all together. You know, before we tonight we're talking about mining and who benefits. But you know, before the rest of our colleagues come in, let's talk about. There was just an incident in Bong County where some young miners were buried underground. Very tragic. Dr. Cooper, did you hear? Dr. Mulabah, did you hear about that?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, I heard about it, but let Dr. Cooper go ahead and address that.
Yes, I did. From the available information online, the area photograph, it appears to me that they were mining in unconsolidated stockpile material, most likely left behind by previous miners. So, in mining, the gang material, GANGUE, or the worthless material, are stockpiled on the side, and that's what they use implement like whole cutlasses. They dug their way in, and due to differences in density, the soil collapsed, and then unfortunately, a lot of people pass away. Up to now, no one responsible, and as the old saying, the beat goes on.
Okay, let me just add to that. So it reminds us of the Manor Road disaster, right?
Yes.
One second. Let me find Dr. Koffa. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I
Yes.
can hear you. I'm sorry. I don't know what.
All right, Dr. Koffa, welcome to Focus on Liberia. Dr. Koffa is also an environmental engineer, and he is from the Africa Environmental Wise. He's been doing some good job there with the environment right there in Liberia. Dr. Koffa, we're glad to have you.
Thank you.
And we're talking about it, you know, even though it's now water cooler, but we're just asking about talking about mining, and then we have this incident in Bong County where some miners, young miners, were buried. So, Dr. Mulabah, go ahead.
Yeah, I said that incident that took place, it reminds me of October 6, 1982, but that was on a bigger scale. The Norway landslide, I'm sure most people heard about it. Dr. Koffa is also aware of that. Even that Dr. Koffa, I mean, we discussed it on a previous channel here. And I mean, I can go into details, but, you know, it's the same old mudslide, you know, loose material saturated by water. It's not going to stay because the slope stability has been violated. So, yeah, just what Dr. Koffa said. That's the nature of it. That's what we're going to discuss tonight. Some of those things that we can proactively predict that will happen and avoid it.
Dr. Koffa, whose job it is to make sure that these places are safe?
Well, actually, thank you very much, Mr. Jai, and greeting to my colleagues and to your listening audience. Thank you very much. It is my pleasure to always be on your show. The issue who is responsible technically is the government itself, and particularly the Environmental Protection Agency, including lands and mines. These are the two entities that are responsible. There are two types of mining in Liberia. There are concession mining and artisanal mining. The artisanal mining are licensed and policed. No, the concession mining are licensed and policed by the government to some extent. But the artisanal mining are pet projects that most of the government official or some high-level official can just take. And what they do is they go into the community, mostly the impoverished community, and give them few dollars for them to dig. But in engineering, and I know Dr. Cooper and Dr. Mulabah would agree with me that they are something they call shooting and shoring. And what shooting and shoring responsible to do is to make sure that the loose soil through which they are digging to get to the point where they get to go, it is balanced in a way that if there's any landslide, it protects us and not bury the people under the ground alive. And from the picture I saw, now I may be wrong, but I want for someone to correct me. It appeared that that was the operation that led to the death of these people is artisanal mining. And normally in the artisanal mining, when the people go ahead, they don't give the people the proper rain gear to use, rain boots, and providing the appropriate logistics to do that. So at the end, when the people dig 16 to 20 feet, when that loose soil collapse, many of them are buried alive. And we have talked about this over and over to the government. The government is not doing justice to the people themselves. They are not protecting the environment of the people. And it is enshrined in the Constitution that it is the government responsibility to protect the environment of the people. They should provide policy that would ensure that their safety are important. And that brings us back to the question which would lead to the topic of the entire integrated database system.
Thank
That
you.
if
And then,
we will get to that,
just to
before-
add, just to add a little bit to that.
One second, I want us to get what we're just waiting for everybody now. So the first question I want to start with is, because we want to talk about mining in general in Liberia. So mining in Liberia, who benefits? So let's start with what do we actually have? And the second question is, who is mining it and at what scale? Dr. Cooper, I want to start with you. What do we have when it comes to mining?
Okay. Thanks for giving me the opportunity. Mining, as Dr. Koffa said earlier, there are two types of mining. The well-off, well-to-do, permitted miners, and artisanal mining. So, whose benefit and what are they mining is a question that I've been thinking about, and how do we approach that? And just as we were about to come on the air, I learned that someone expressed in Liberia that we do not fully know what resources are being extracted. Extracted here, as used in this term, refer to minerals. Of course, timbers and other resources can be extracted. So, with that said, miners can be divided into two categories, as we said earlier. The permitted miners, mechanized and licensed miners, are multi-million-dollar corporations and their representatives. So these are the people that I believe that we can create a system. Talking about system, hypothesized that is it possible to create a system that will track extraction of natural resources? The answer for now is yes. How do you do it? Well, I have a system called Resource Extraction Tracking System. Hold on for a second.
And before we get to that,
Resource.
Dr. Cooper, before we get to your system, which I wanted to go into deeply, but before we get there, I wanted to set the stage. As of today, do we know what we have in Liberia when it comes to minerals? Yes or no?
To an extent, yes, we do. What we have in Liberia, we got iron ore, we know about that. We got gold, we got diamonds, bauxite is not being exploited, but we got, so yes, we know. But the main question is, how much of these do we have a mineral inventory? That answer is no.
No.
Because let me just add that certain rocks in Liberia should be considered as commercial bank, and mineral deposit in those rocks should be considered as cash in commercial banks. Okay, so when you have cash in a bank, you can't keep withdrawing without checking your cash balance. That's what happened in Liberia. We keep mining and there's no mineral inventory. That got to stop, or our children will meet nothing here. There have to be mineral inventory.
What does that mean, mineral inventory?
Okay, let's say you got one shop in Jalatown and you're selling some candy and king juice.
Right.
Every day you sell a few king juice. When you close the shop, you turn around and look to see what else you got. The Jimmy John bottle, is it empty? Is it still full? How much more candy you got left? Take pencil and paper and jot them down. They call it inventory, but the same thing applies to diamond mine, gold mine. You mine all day. You have to go back and sit down. How much do we have now? There should be a computer screen at Lens and Mine or somewhere else that on a weekly basis tell us the balance that we have in each of these mines.
Thank you, Doc, for that simple explanation. Same question, Dr. Mulabah. Do we know what we have? Or what do we actually have when we come to our minerals?
We don't know what we have. We have idea of what we have. That's what this whole meeting is about. We speculate we have gold here, we have diamond here, we have iron ore. In fact, there's mineral all over Liberia, mineral in soil. But the problem is it economical? So the first thing is we need to know what we have, the quantity and the quality. And that's the purpose of this integrated database system, Liberia integrated database system, that we're going to talk about later. But before I go into detail, let me answer the first question of who is responsible for that landslide, whatever happened. Every county, okay, I'm saying from facts because I serve as assistant minister for mines at the Ministry of Lands and Mines. So every county has a mining agent. That mining agent is responsible to inspect every mining area every morning. So if he had done his job, so we can say the government, but the mining agent direct. Because if he had done his job to do inspection, he would have seen this loose material, whatever they're doing, it will eventually collapse. So he is directly responsible for that. Now it's left with the government to take action. Now you say, what do we have, or how do we know what we have, right?
Yeah, and where is it?
Okay, so that's the purpose of this particular talk tonight. We all have idea. Oh, let's go and down in the Makona Road. Yeah, okay. Where is the data? Where is the data? Now, if an investor comes to you in Liberia to go to NIC, a National Investment Commission, or come, you say, I want to go to Bokonjida. Okay, you say, okay, what do you want? You say, I want to explore. So he's going to go there. He will do his exploration, do his estimate, or whatever, and come and tell you. But what we're saying here, we should have all of those information already in our database. So when you come, if you say you're going to Bokonjida, I know right away you're going to look for gold. I tell you what we have, the quality of it. So we have to turn this thing around so that we don't get a short end of the stick. And the short answer to that is, in 1975, the LMC, Liberia Mining Company, closed unexpectedly and gave the Turbo government headaches. Where should the people go? Turbo asked, why did you close? He said, the economy, iron ore is finished. Nothing there, not social waste. We can't mine waste. Okay, you can go. They carry the money, they carry it, and let the people stranded. About 6 months later, because the geologist that they were waiting for to come and check, he was in school. He evaluated, he came, he did some practice. Turbo said, go and check at LMC. The people said they closed. He came by and said, Mr. President, there were enough reserve there. The people lie. In the absence of data, they can fool us. So that's the purpose tonight, to show to everybody that we need to know every inch of our soil, what is there, the quality, the quantity. Then, when you come, it's one-on-one. Yeah.
Thank you. Dr. Koffa, you wanted to say something before I go to Dr. Koffa?
Well, go on to Dr. Koffa, and let me go ahead. I'll come back to you later on.
Dr. Koffa, I want to get your take,
Okay.
About what do we have, because I see you pay very close attention to the environmental conditions in this area.
Yeah.
So as you look through Liberia and see all that is happening, do you think we have an idea of really what we have and where it is?
We do not have an idea what we have. We are told what we have.
Correct.
And that is the disadvantage that we face, because people from different places come into our country and tell us what we have.
Right.
And when they come in, they do it only in their interests. Liberia, as it stands now, the 15 countries alone, there is an approximation of about $20 billion worth of mineral resources. Down to include the artisanal, down to include the lithium that they just discovered in Liberia that worth over $2 billion. Now, all of this still does not include the ecological aspect of it in terms of the forest, the carbon trade that the president just appointed a committee on. So when you put together everything that Liberia has in terms of its natural resources, Dennis, we are talking about almost $250 billion. Now, I listened to one of your show, and one of the gentlemen say the resources Liberia has cannot make it rich, and I disagree.
Yeah, I was
Because
on
they
that
are
show.
in number. They are in number.
Same here.
Yes, I absolutely disagree. You think that what made countries like Kuwait, and the other Arab countries, what make them rich is their natural resources they have. Liberia has it, but we are now fairly told exactly what we have, and those that go and tell us what we have, they are the ones decide where they take and where they leave for us. Now, while we are talking about the quantity of this resource that we're talking about, we will not lose track of the management of it. I
All
think
right.
this is where our problem is. And we keep coming around this circle over and over. No matter how much gold and diamond or resources you have, if it is not properly managed, then it's meaningless. And this is the track that we are facing. Since post-war, we have been over 25 years now going from post-war. And we read the history and we got the research that the management of our natural resources fall in the hands of our government, and very little. Even the corporate social responsibility account that are normally associated with some of the businesses that do business in most of the communities, they get nothing. And our people, no school, no quality school, no good setting schools. Teachers are not being paid. There has
Correct.
not been retrofit for all of the damaged buildings. And I mean, the list goes on. And who is responsible? It is our government. We have to face the fact. And most of these superintendents that are elected in this government are supposed to represent the people, do not honor that with respect to their position. We will come to the topic as to how we can resolve this. I have an idea, but I will reserve it. And
Okay.
in totality, that's what it is, Mr. John.
Two quick things I want to touch on before we proceed, please.
No, yes, sir.
At one point, Dr. Mulabah asked, "Where are the data?" I want to address that. But the most recent one, the one Dr. Koffa just said that our natural resources are being exploited and our people are left with nothing to show for it. In other words, inequitable extraction of resources. I want to, if you don't already have it, there is a publication from foresttrend.org on March of this year. It is called Rapid Assessment of Liberia Mining Sector. Rapid, R-A-P-I-D, Assessment of Liberia Mining Sector. Check that out. The point that Koffa just made here is outlined in there that those people that live near the mine got nothing to show for it. And employment is about less than 1%. So check that publication out. And I'm going to the next topic I wanted to talk about. Dr. Mulabah said that we have an idea of what we have, and he asked the question, where is the data? I think we are all heading the same direction, but I wanted to point out data from the National Bank of Liberia. I wrote something called Policy Brief on the Sustainable Management of Mineral Resources in Liberia. So let me just get to it. Summary of gold, diamond, and iron ore exported from Liberia 2024 to 2016. This is a table on page two of my policy brief. I'll be glad to email you a copy of that. So the data is there. Yes, we have an idea of the quantity of natural resources, natural deposit of minerals. So it's being extracted and reported by the National Bank in a quarterly publication from 2024 to 2016. It's on page 2. Thank you. I yield the floor, Mr. Ja.
Okay. I have a question, please. I have a question.
Sure.
Dr. Cooper.
Yeah.
Who owns the data?
Good question.
So you see, is the data clean? So you see, we don't own the data, so they just give you data they collected. We're talking about we collecting our own data and running it through evaluation, running it through the database where we remove anomalies, we clean it, and we own the data. So we know you can't give me data. You say this is your data. It's the same it's the same colonial power manipulating our resources, but the data they're giving you, you consume it, but you don't know where it comes from. It's tailored to confuse you and then take more from you. I don't accept that data. I want to collect my own data.
I believe you.
That's what the integrated database system is about. We're not going to have our mineral resources in the hand of exploiters to come and take our resources and give us fake data and then tell you something. We're not going to have that. So this is why we come here to say we need our own.
I agree.
Who is mining our resources and our skill?
Who is mining?
Yeah, and our skill.
Okay, every concession I know about are foreign investors. And they say 50-50. It's not true. All the government get is royalty and other benefits, but they control the whole mine, they control everything. You just sign your concession agreement the way you don't understand it. That so there should be no illusion here that we own anything. The investor comes with money, he does what he does with it, he takes his profit and give you the change. That has to turn around.
Yeah, so can you walk, Dr. Cooper, can you walk us through the current landscape when it comes to industrial miners, artisanal miners, exploration companies, and explain how much visibility we really have into their operations?
Artisanal miner, they are difficult to track.
Okay.
So the database that we are talking about, when we have it available, that's why in my introduction, I divided miners into two groups. corporate miner like ArcelorMittal and the rest, the Chinese in the old bone mine, China Iron Ore Company and so forth, those are easier to track because they are at a fixed location. When 2017, when I went back home to Riverside in my village, you can count me here as artisanal miner because there's the one hill behind my village. And I say it's not by accident that I grew up to be a geologist. Today I'm going to look in that hill and nobody gonna stop me. So I took my cousin, my nephew, we got some digger, shower, and everything, and off we went. So tracking this kind of operation is very, very difficult. You can track it, but there have to be some organization. So those are the, for right now, let me just summarize something to you. Forest Trend Rapid Assessment of Liberia Mining Sector. In the executive summary, mining contribute nearly 20% of the Liberia GDP, 17% of government revenue, 85% of export. That was in 2023 figure. Historically, 1% of the workforce, less than 1% of the workforce is employed by the miners. I just wanted to point that out to you.
So, if Mr. Jack, if I may add to what Dr. Cooper just said, there is a management system, but the management system in Liberia for the natural resources, they are flawed. Like Dr. Cooper said, the artisanal mining is the meat killer when it comes to the well-being of our people. Because the whole idea of mining the resources is to bring about benefit to our people. It's to provide school, road network, healthcare, and properly pay people. But no, that is not the case. From 2003, that when the war ended in Liberia, to the present, after Judy Bryant, it was Helen Johnson Sirleaf. For 12 years, there were 68, according to the statistics, 68 mineral resources licenses that were issued in Liberia. Of those 68, only 2 were qualified, according to the PPC, or maybe I just not pronouncing the acronym very well, but the procurement process. So 66 went unqualified. And what does that tell you? That means it went under the table. And for almost every mineral resources that come into the country that sign an agreement, the EPA never sits at the table. Why will you carry out a natural resources that have much impact from the environmental perspective and not include the Environmental Protection Agency that is responsible for that? That tells you. But at the end of a period, $16 billion for unaccounted for mineral resources alone, according to the records. And when it comes, and that's okay, I love it. And when it
you can see the development and improvement here. And this is what bus is having with Facebook. And the bus is having on this recommendation, this is the best to do. All corruption go. There's no way around the Environmental Protection Agency, and I can say that for fact.
So the question for all of us is, how can Liberia get the best out of our resources?
Okay, let me try with that. First of all, we need to know what we have, the quality and the quantity and location. That is why this Liberia Integrated Database System is all about. The acronym tells you what it does. LRDS, LADS, right? What is a LAD? It's a tap. We're going to put a tap on it and stop all some of these unchecked corruption and other stuff. Okay, so that is the Well, I thought I would introduce the database integration, but let me start from there. So, okay. I wanted to introduce what an integrated database system
Yeah,
is.
go ahead.
Okay. What is an integrated database system? An integrated database system is the database setup where data from multiple sources or department is combined into a single unified system so it can be accessed, managed, and shared efficiently. In simple terms, instead of having separate databases for things like sales, HR, and inventory, an integrated database system brings all of that data together in one central database system. The key features of an integrated database system are: one, centralized data. All information is stored in one place. Data consistency reduces duplication and conflicting data. Data integrity ensures accuracy and reliability of data across the organization. Shared access. Different users or departments can have access to the same data. Improve decision making, easier to analyze complete and accurate information. Example of an integrated database is a company might integrate the following: customers data, which is CRM, sales records, inventory levels, employee information. So when it's a salesperson, the system can automatically update the inventory, record revenues, link the purchase to a customer. The benefits of integrated database system are better coordination across departments, faster data retrieval, reduced error, easier reporting and analytics. So an integrated database system is a database approach where data from different sources and all that come together. So we would like to show step of the database integration system with key step by way of a diagram. Could you please put a diagram up now? Okay, so on the left, step one, data collection. On the left, you see, you can either collect the data by cell phone or other media or by paper. So you collect the data. Now, this data you're collecting is not pure, it's dirty. So you have to do some cleaning. So that's how we're asking if you receive a data set from an investor, how sure are you that it is clean? What is it, if it's manipulated to portray something that is against you? So we don't accept any data from someone who don't know the source, and we haven't vetted the data itself through the process of data evaluation. Then step two, data entry. Now you can see on the top from the media source, there's no human participation. It goes directly to the data warehouse. But below, when the human being takes the data on the form, then they have to go and do data entry. And we're full of error. So that also introduces error into the data that have been collected. Besides the error that coming with the data itself, human being entering the data in there introduces error. But anyway, we have a way of data cleansing before we take the final product to do evaluation. That's that. Then the third step is data is validated. So after you put the data in, we just don't take it on face value. We validate the data. This is where we found anomalies, outlier, and all of those are removed. It's just like you have a banana. You can't just eat it, so you remove the peel and then get the banana itself. That's how you separate the data. No data comes to you clean. So when you do the research, it's better to take primary data and make sure it's clean. That if you buy secondary data, yes, your dissertation may be okay, but the data will have a flaw. So these are the things. So what Dr. Koffa was referring to is good, but then we'll be consuming secondary data. We don't know how it was processed. So the outcome could be intentionally misleading. Okay, so
in terms of
let me finish.
In terms of mining,
yeah.
In terms of mining, I want you to bring that home, right?
Yeah.
So
okay.
when you say collect data,
yeah.
So do you have people all around the country collect to see what? I mean, walk me through that practical process of getting the data in this integrated system First,
Yeah.
getting the data in the system.
Yeah.
And when you say integrated, that means besides there are other sources of data coming in. What are those two sources? So walk me through
Okay.
the practical
When
way.
we talk about integrated data,
Let's start with the practical way of getting this data from all
Okay.
over the country and getting it in one system.
Okay. Let's talk about Ministry of Mines, right? They get the mining data from the companies, from artisanal miner or from the gold mine. They get daily report. Okay. They by themselves, they enter their own data in a local database, right? Okay. So that's
like what? Data like what? I'm in Bokondre, I'm a artisanal miner. Who's collecting that data from me?
okay, but this is where we find the flaw. We will establish a system where we have people to collect the data. Okay. Right now, it's scattered everywhere.
Yeah,
so, for example,
that's what I'm trying to get. So, as a government, you're going to have people, you're going to employ people. What is it? Walk me through so that my entry at Duala market understand what you're talking about.
Okay, so I'm coming to it now. Let's say, okay, let me take ArcelorMittal, then I'll go to the Plaza Mining.
Okay.
ArcelorMittal mines iron ore. She
Right.
sent reports to the government of the tonnage mine, and she should send a report of how much is left and how much is added. So at the end of the year, government should be in a position to know ArcelorMittal has this amount of tonnage left. That data is coming from ArcelorMittal to the Ministry of Mines.
Right.
So that's the collection there. That data is being collected and put into a database. Now that
But
database
that data is from ArcelorMittal. We know they're not going to tell us the truth. So that's
but these are the mechanisms we're going to put in place. We will have representatives to confirm those data before it is even entered into the database. But right now, it's one way. ArcelorMittal tells you this is the amount of ton I mined this month. How sure are we? Okay, but I'm trying to show you how the process goes. So ArcelorMittal give you the data, you take it on face value, you put it into the database of the Ministry of Mines. Okay, but what we're saying, that data should be entered at the Ministry of Mines, but the same person must not be able to delete or update that data because it's corruption. So if the data comes to us, the person entering the data need to know and has a role. He's limited to do data entry, not to edit, update, or delete. When it comes to that level, it has to come up to those who are to make the decision. Because once the data gets in, you can't change it. But right now, if the data is in the hand of Lanceman, they have their own databases. They are the chief, they are the lawyer and the judge and all of that. So if, let's say you accuse someone of mining something, and then he say, I don't have that on my license. And then he say, okay, we are going to Lanceman tomorrow. The person can go under the cover of darkness and do something and change that license overnight. Okay? Because they have the right to change, to edit, to update, and even to delete. But in the integrated database system, once you enter the data, the database of the Lanceman will be in the central database system. They will have a client computer accessing that and putting the data in there. Once it gets in there, they cannot change it. That's how it goes. So in Bokondre, if your entity is money gold, she has to report to the money agent. Money agent has to have people there when the money go, they do whatever processing, they separate the gold from the sand, they weigh it. Okay, so it's a matter of having people with integrity. Then that data, that amount of gold is sent to the Ministry of Mines, and then it's entered into the database, and then we capture it and we protect it.
Thank you. But Dr. Koffa, Dr. Cooper, let's take a step back, right? Because the data that Dr. Mulabah is talking about is the data that exists with people. But if as of today, we want to know what is in the country, we want to first do the inventory. Before we even do the inventory, we talk about, we want to do an inventory of what we have as a people.
Yeah.
How do we get that data and put it in a database system?
You get it from the result, but it will be corrupt because the person you're going to investigate is the person giving you the data. No. So we have to collect the data. Otherwise, they'll give you something. Huh?
How?
We'll have representative there.
And that's why I said walk me through from A to Z, but you are starting from C, then you go.
No, okay, but you're not listening. Yeah,
so what I'm saying is let's start from the beginning. For
Okay.
us to know what we have,
Okay,
how
then
does this integrated database system exist?
Okay, the integrated database, you go, you find out by yourself. You don't depend on a celebrity. You don't depend on investor. You go in there and do your own evaluation. Say, this is what I have based on your own people expertise.
Do
That
we
data,
have the resources and expertise to do that?
but that's what we have. We have enough people to do that. That's why we came here to tell whoever is in power that you have the expertise to start from scratch and give you what you have and the quality and the quantity. Then we can start from there. But if we don't have a baseline, we take the data from there. It's the same old thing because they give you what they want to give you.
Thank you. Dr. Cooper, you want to come in?
Yes, I do. At this point, mining in Liberia is governed by Mineral Development Agreement, MDA, contract. So to say we will have our people selling material to ascertain their quantity and all that, we have to make sure that that is within the framework of the MDA. In other words, if the Mineral Development Agreement only authorize one representative from Lands and Mine to sit on the third floor, open an office, come there, and when they're saying some people with 10 tons of iron ore on it, he takes that and fax it or send it by telephone to Monroe to Lands and Mine. That is the same data that we are talking about that lacks some degree of credibility. I just wanted to point that out. So renegotiating the MDA to make sure that if the bigger investors are telling us we are 50-50 partner, then our interests have to be addressing the MDA that if you are weighing your gold at B Mountain, for example, there has to be a trained and honest Liberian there looking at the gold that you weigh and taking the data. Both observer are sharing the data. But if that is not in B Mountain Mineral Development Agreement, then we have to go back to negotiation. I just wanted to point that out. I yield the floor, Dr. Koffa.
And Dr. Koffa, starting from there, because they're where the problem starts from, right? Because the people that are representing Liberia at that table to negotiate, because these big conglomerates, they are coming with lawyers.
Yes.
And for us Liberian, we are sending politicians to negotiate.
You forgot to say broke politician, broke.
Right.
So those miners, those investors got deep pockets.
Right. I mean, every time we talk about Big Mountain, which name we hear the name Edwin Snow, right? So even if we are having a data system, if we don't start from that point, send experts to be at that table to negotiate, so that, like Dr. Cooper, you're saying, we can add those details in the MDA, then the data collection or the database system is useless. Dr. Koffa, your thoughts?
Well, thank you very much. I think Dr. Mulabah is he made a very good point, which was buttressed by Dr. Cooper. But this is what I would say. Let's take an example. And I think what that Dr. Mulabah is trying to stress in terms of the integrated database system is to let's take, for example, we got 15 counties in Liberia. The major resources market in that market is gold, iron ore, and diamond. We want to quantify what is in Lofa County.
Right.
The value of natural resources currently in Lofa County is about $5 billion, and then it starts coming down. But every county has some resources. The database system wants to kind of study what is the number of the quantity of mineral resources in a county, monetize it and monitor it, and keep it in the database. Do that for all the 15 counties.
Correct.
Then you have integrated the entire Liberia in terms of the natural resources. Then you create another column in that database with respect to the untapped natural resources. Like we're talking about lithium, that they're talking about now, that has the huge volume of monetization. Where does it fit? Now, if you know the quantity of every county, and Mr. X came in to explore that natural resources. Now, when we talk about mineral resources, one of your show I watched, it is kind of a generalized, and when some business person come, they say they want to mine mineral resources. But what kind of mineral resources you want to mine? You want to mine gold, iron ore, diamond, everything? You have to be specific. Now, in that database, it will tell all the quantity already mapped out for each mineral resources.
And,
So
and
if we,
how do we get it there? For it
well,
to be
how do we
more?
get this? Is the point. And I think what Dr. Mulabah is saying, there has to be a collaboration.
Okay.
It has to be a collaboration, and that collaboration will go as far as working with the government. At some point in time, with Ministry of Lands and Mines, and probably with Environmental Protection Agency. Because the data you are collecting, the end result would be to cut short the compromises that go on at the table. This will give the Liberian government a selling point for its own natural resources. Because as we all know, most natural resources are not replaceable. Some of them, they can get extinct. When you mine them for a certain year, when they finish. But if you quantify it and have that value, the Liberian government, because Liberian government owns the natural resources, no matter wherever country is in, they can only get certain part of it in terms of reciprocity. But they control it, they own it, and so they have to be told of the relevant information as to the kind of a resources that is located in a county, so that way they keep track. So let's say, for example, if a company is in Bond County and exploring natural resources like gold or iron ore, they would know exactly, because we would have already known the quantity already that exists. So as you take out the gold from there, we know how much is remaining. And all of that will be detailed in your contract. We are saying that because it's in a very embryonic stage. So we are bringing up an idea through Dr. Mulabah that this is the way for all to monitor our resources for the benefit of our people.
Okay,
And
let me after that, Dr. Koffa, I would like to add something to that.
Yeah, and what I wanted to throw in, I think we pass in, and I think Mr. Jack keep insisting on that point, and I do agree with him. Who benefit from these things?
Yeah.
Who benefit from our natural resources? Our people supposed to benefit, but they are not benefiting, and I think that is the crux of the conversation here.
Yes.
Because even with the little we have, if it is managed properly, they should have some dividend to the people themselves, but it's not the case.
Yes. Yep.
So,
Yep.
no, hold on. I want to answer Mr. Ja's concern. Who collecting the data? How should we? The first thing is the concession agreement has to be changed. And the concession agreement must be a living document. You don't review it, then after 25 years, then you review. No, there must be stipulation that at any time, any member feel not satisfied with any part of the concession agreement, they should call a meeting. So we have a concession agreement that is a living concession agreement between the time you sign it until the end. It should not be static. Then in a concession agreement, it will be stated that the integrated database system team, which will be an independent team, not controlled by anybody. Because once you control it, accountability and transparency go away. We will be independent team working, and it should be in the concession agreement that we will have representative at the site of collecting the data, and we send our data to our team, and the companies, whatever they do, we compare. And if there's any anomaly, it has to be balanced. Okay, so to answer your question, if the government is going to have people there to send us the data, that's fine. If we will be responsible, that's fine. But we will make sure that the data being collected is collected by the team that is going to process this thing. You're not going to collect that data, process it, and send it to me for me to accept it as on value. No, then we'll go back to the same thing. So concession agreement must be a living document that can change anytime, and government must have representative. It used to happen. They will be there along with the company representative collecting the amount of old mine, the amount of old process to the concentrator, the amount of old process to the pellet plant, all the way the amount of old shipped. And we do reserve calculation. We used to do it in Burma. The same thing we did for Burma, and she was making it. We can do it for the government. So we're not going to rely on secondary collection of data and bringing it to us. It's the same old thing because they tell you something that they want to tell you. That's what I want to clarify. Thank you.
The
Are you there?
agreement you mentioned is already being signed. I said the agreement you referencing is already being signed and it's for 50 years. So,
yeah, but this is where we're coming
in. Because most of our companies, that's how they are signed, 30, 25, 50 years. So if we are starting today, if you start an integrated database system today,
right?
So for example, Metal Steel, you have 30 years before you revisit that agreement.
No. You can call for an agreement. It's not started. You can call for meeting to modify. Yes, you can do that. The agreement is 30 years, but the concession agreement can be changed anytime. Now you see, ArcelorMittal, the concession, the year hadn't ended, they went to the government and made changes. So it's this notion that the length of time the concession agreement is the same time the concession. No, it's not started. ArcelorMittal just did it. You remember? Okay, the motor railway use, and they made an amendment, right? Huh? But the concession agreement ended in 2030.
Thank you.
So they shouldn't put wool on top of our eye here. It's not. They don't go hand in hand. This is why we're coming, because we studied these things. We know what we're talking about. Do not tie concession agreement static to the time you concession the end. No, you can change it anytime. ArcelorMittal can call meeting anytime and say, Liberia, we need to meet because I have a problem with this thing. If they can do that, we can do it.
Yeah, Dr. Cooper, go ahead.
Same here, second the motion, what Dr. Camah Mulabah just said. Please let me add to the question, what do we have? I want to go back to that question, what do we have? One way to ascertain what we have, each mining agreement, each exploration permit, you can't just give someone coming to explore for, say, mineral resources, as Dr. Koffa just said. By the way, in economic geology, there is a distinction between mineral resource and mineral deposit. Let me just clear that up. Mineral deposit has quantified amount that is known. It has location. It has mining technology. In terms of today's value, all that is known about mineral deposit, 4 attributes. Mineral resource, it has inherent value, but under today's economic condition, is not mineable. For example, you have 1 ounce of gold in 10 tons of rock. 1 ton of rock is 2,000 pounds. To break 2,000 pounds for 1 ounce of gold, you can't do that in today's economic value of gold. I just want to clear that out. So, okay, going back to what do we have and how to track that, I'm proposing, which is part of the integrated database, I'm proposing something called Resource Extraction Tracking System, RETS. In other words, this computer system, which will be part of the integrated database, for every mining concession or mining permit, you will use a geographic information system, GIS, to get a coordinate of where this mine is. And they have old reserve calculation, how much of old deposit is there at this location. So those days of somebody applying for mining permit or exploration permit, you just give them permit to go dig hole anywhere in Liberia. Those days should be gone. That's it. We can't do that
Yeah.
anymore. You're not going to know what is being extracted. So John Doe, I went to Liberia 2012. I got to Rawafi. I said, I wonder if I just take the road and go out to Grand Judy and start digging hole, who's going to stop me? And nobody's going to stop you. So you have to have a system of accounting for all of the permit. Each permit we have a coordinate of where this permit cover. What are the coordinates and the old reserve calculation on that mine. You take all that, the volume of that, and put it into a computer system. At the end of every week or every day, you drop out 1 pound of iron ore today, you multiply that by 5 days, 5 times that amount of day, you remove that from your old reserve, you know what the balance is. They call it mineral inventory. You can do it similar to the example that I gave. So tracking mineral extraction, natural resources extraction can be done, but it has to be computerized with trained and honest people. I gave the flow for now. I yield the flow for now.
All right.
Yeah.
So as you emphasize this centralized database system, right? Can you explain why this single missing system prevents the country from knowing what it has, what is being extracted, and what is being exported?
Yes. Okay. You see, we have, okay, let me bring it down to research. When you do your dissertation, you have a choice, primary data or secondary data. I think the two of you know about that. Primary data is what you collect.
I don't know.
No, I mean, I just said, okay. Oh, sorry, Dr. Dennis Ja, I'm sorry. So, of course, you know, primary data is what you yourself collect. You process, you isolate, you do everything, and then you defend it. Secondary data, you say, oh, somebody has data somewhere, let me go and ask if I can use it, they give you permission. But the risk there is, whatever fault in that, you're just going to use as that. Okay? So, to answer your question, which I think you still doubtful, or how we're going to get the data, we will have representative with the company, we'll have people there. So that, but if you see step 3 of the diagram you show, it says data validation. That means this amount or accelerometer will send their own report. We will have our representative taking the same place, they all got the data, sending us our data. Then we look at the two and make sure that they validate. If we see any anomaly from accelerometer, we reject. So it's going to be a two-way street. And then we're not going to sit down there as people feed us, then we say, oh, no, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about validation. Validation. Like Dr. Cooper said, we got different type of economic deposit. The one that is mine is an economic mineral deposit. A mineral deposit cannot be economical until you put a cutoff grade and it's mine so that you can have a profit. If you cannot have a profit, it's not an economic mineral deposit, it's just a deposit. So we have a way of validating. Again, the integrated database system we don't talk about is going to be an independent body system, not loyal to anybody. Okay, right. And we'll be able to serve. We'll be able to serve the government. We'll serve NGO. We're going to do everything. Will be available, but we're not going to be manipulated because we will be collecting our own data. Like Dr. Koffa, he is environmental person, expert. So what we're going to do? Example: if there's a company across the bridge that's polluting the air every day, we're not going to wait on EPA to send us their report. No, we're going to have sensors planted over there. Those sensors will send a direct report to our base station, which will send it to the database and alert us when something is about to happen. That we're going to be proactive. We're not going to be reactive. We're going to prevent it from happening. before it happened,
Yeah.
and what EPA, when something
Mm.
happened, they run and say, oh, what happened? No, we're not going to do that. If we see that there will be a cyanide going into the road, we can monitor it. We have way to monitor the movement of cyanide or we see people teaching money using mercury from the sky. You can have data of, you can know whether mercury is being used. We avoid the company from wasting the cyanide into the river.
Thank you. I know there are political questions to answer about that, because that is introducing another layer. So I don't want us to get into the politics of it, because I mean, who say government is going to have another body besides Lands and Mines or EPA to do this? So that's a political question. But
Well,
what I
you see,
want to say is, right now the Ministry of Mines, EPA, the Finance Ministry, and Customs all operate separate systems.
yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
Right. So what technical risk does this fragmentation create for production tracking, export monitoring, and
Okay.
national planning?
Okay. The first thing is data manipulation. Those databases are in silos. They are exclusively controlled by them. Nobody can see the data. They decide what to do with it. So when you operating in silos, you go to the Ministry of Mines and say, let me see what data you have. Say you have no authority to look at our thing. They can use any kind of thing, they can manipulate it, they can give you any kind of report. But whereas in an integrated database system, where we have the same data that you collecting from the site, we're not depending on you. We know what we have. And then if your data conflict with ours, we'll raise the red flag. We inform the government. This is what we're talking about. We're not
When
going
you
to.
say we will raise the rate, who are you talking about? Who the we?
Those who will be operating the Liberia integrated database system will alert the government or whoever we're working for that particular database area, because we have database for geology, database for finance, database for LEC, database for GSA. All those databases we will have. Once we come to an agreement that we can have this thing in our cluster, we'll raise red flag when we see anomalies. So this is, we're not here to be guided by people telling us what to do. So if you want reality, if you want us to control the system, you have to give the free hand. Thank you.
I wanted to chime in, if it is okay, Mr. Jar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Go
I'm
ahead,
talking to
sir.
Mr. Jar. Yeah. But I think this is very, when it comes to the integrated database system, it's very crucial and very important to the issue that relate to the environment.
Right.
Because all of the activities of mining and other exploration that will go on in Liberia, they all are tied into what we call environmental impact assessment.
Yes.
Because if an environmental impact assessment that is not conducted, the outcome affect the very people we're trying to protect in terms of their social well-being and their livelihood and everything. The environmental assessment, from all indication, will let us know, who those of us in the environmental community, to know how much impact and what are the mitigating procedures that are put in place to protect the human well-being.
Right.
The water they drink, the soil they grow their food on, and the air they breathe, because air has no line of demarcation. We want to make sure every activity that is going on under that integrated data system,
Right.
we want to make sure that everyone who engages in that provide us that EIS. The EIA, is very critical, because it can make or break any community down. And in
Yes.
that EIA, there is also a place for the social cooperative responsibility. What is being given provided for the community for schools? What are the legal issues? Is the community giving a lawyer to represent them? Because most of the community don't have money to hire lawyers. Is the government ready to give the community a lawyer to sit on the table, where, especially in that county, where they're going to do carry on the mining or something? Is someone representing them to make sure that their voices are heard. Those are critical issues that those of us from the environmental sector are mostly depending on. The issue of early warning system becomes an important issue.
Right.
Because when we talk about early warning system, we talk about disaster management. At what time is it good for a flight that coming into land? At what time is it good for us to get full warning that the weather is bad or the weather is good? The integrated data system, even though we're talking today not just about mining, but it goes beyond mining.
Yeah.
And my last comment I want to make to that is no matter how much we do, we have to seek collaboration and cooperation with the sitting government.
Right.
Because in the absence of that, we face the obstacle. Because once that contract is signed, and the person that owns the contract can refuse anybody to enter their premise at a time. And they have the legal right to do it. But if the government, and we want to convince the government that this is very important and it's something that you need to consider, it will maximize your profit from the exploration. So we are doing it to benefit, the country as a whole. So can you give a green light and use our conduit to get verification of some of these resources we're talking about? And I think, to the president credit, Dr. Burkhardt, when he took over, he looked at almost all the concession agreement, and amendments that were needed to be made were made. And so, if the idea makes sense and it benefits the government, I think they will work along with the idea. And that's what I want to say.
Okay. Dr. John?
I want to introduce something else, but Dr. Cooper, go ahead.
Okay, real quick, going back to the integrated database, one thing I know Dr. Camah Mulabah have in mind, he hasn't said it, is data security. You can build all the data and store all you want to store, but if you do not have, my wife is a security engineer, by the way, if you do not have security for your data, you're not going to stay one day there, next morning, it's going to be gone. Powerful company got hijacked and they spend millions of dollars for their data. So data security would be one of those things to talk about. And going back to Dr. Koffa's environmental impact assessment, Dr. Koffa, I think we will go one level up. What we will be needing from the multi-million-dollar mining company is environmental impact statement, which, as you know, is one notch above the ERS, because we're talking remediation, social responsibility, and so forth. So I think we are all heading in the same direction. Telling mining company to go and mine, they have to have sustainable environmental impact and social impact assessment embedded in the agreement. Dr. Jack, go ahead. I yield the floor.
Hold on, Dr.
Okay,
Mulabah.
before you go there, may I just say
Dr. Mulabah,
something
Dr.
about
Mulabah,
data security?
hold on, please.
Okay.
Okay, we have the, in my intro, I talk about the 2.7 billion dollar discrepancy, right?
Yeah.
Importing countries receiving 7.8 billion in Liberian minerals, while Liberia recorded only 5.1 billion, right? So yeah, governments, they want to give government out of that money, they say, yeah, you have 844 billion. So there's a discrepancy. From an engineering and operational perspective, how does the absence of integrated data management or base system make such massive discrepancy possible? Like the way, government know this. So how could we have solved that problem with the database system that we're talking about, Dr. Cooper?
I prefer to yield that to Dr. Mulabah, saying he's our database guy. So I want him to give a stab at it first, please.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Like your Mulabah, yeah. We talk about this
Yeah. So
discrepancy.
okay, let me discuss the data security a little bit.
Okay.
I mentioned the need to know. This is why I said, if you leave the database as a silo in the various ministry, they have the authority to add, subtract, delete, and manipulate the data. So when
Okay.
they send in the data to us, they need to know. We'll give you
I think
access.
it's neither talking about hacking.
Huh?
Like Koffa is talking about hacking.
Yeah, but I'm coming to it. Okay, hacking that is left with the database management team. If they don't control that, then we'll change them. We'll have a team that manages the database where you have virus coming in. That's a different thing. But we're talking about actually manipulating the data itself. That's why you have the role. If you know you're working in an office, they limit you to how much you can see and how much you can do. That's a security right there. That's the first line of security. You do not have the role to delete. You do not have the role to update, but you can enter. There another person who is your boss you can see things that you cannot see. So the first data security we're talking about. Yeah, what was the other question? How do we do what? Check.
You mean
You
like
said,
Koffa or me?
no, you said how do we
No.
check
At
the
the beginning of I reported that between
okay.
2007 and
Yeah.
2023, mining companies officially paid the government of Liberia just 844 million.
Yes.
But the importing countries reported receiving 7.8 billion of Liberian minerals. That is a $2.7 billion discrepancy.
Yeah.
Right?
So how the integrated database system will solve that?
Yes.
Okay, that is concession agreement. Okay, no company will give the government of Liberia peanuts if it doesn't have the legal backing. So your concession agreement is what they're going by. So you need to renegotiate your concession agreement that you make sure you get the maximum benefit for your natural resources. As Dr. Koffa said, those are not renewable. When they're gone, they're gone. So when you get to the concession agreement table, and this is why we are mentioning here that you cannot carry FICI to international game. You will lose. Everybody knows that. So you carry your expert. I mean, I'm just giving an example for people to understand. You have concession agreement, high level concession agreement. You send people there because of who know you, of hereditary stratification. They're not qualified, but they know people and they go there. All they gotta do, they don't understand what's going on. They sign the paper and go, right? But if you send the right people,
Thank you. So this brings us to what I said in my intro, right?
Yeah.
I set up Mittel and this person coming, we are striving to do this.
Yeah.
What stopped us? Many countries in our region, they have state-owned mining companies that participate directly in exploration, production, and joint ventures.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
What would it mean for Liberia to establish its own national mining company, and what technical capacity would be needed to make it credible and effective?
Liberia has no excuse. You see, I told someone we had a crisis and everybody looked at it as a bad thing. But I see a silver lining in it. We all came out, and the massive education we have right now, Liberia has no excuse that she cannot open her own mines and run it. We have enough expertise here. And I'm going to need some association, organization in my closing that can supply this thing. We have abundant technocrats, geologists, mine engineers. Well, they are seasoned because when they left Liberia over 40 years ago, they've been working in this field and it's got different experience. They know what to do. We can run our own mine, but that willpower, that enabling environment is not there. Okay? We are all in the same boat here. All the organizations here are all in the same boat. They have a common denominator is Liberia. And what they are getting, no matter whether you FLA, you EULA, you DRDR, other organizations, all have the aim of doing something for the country in the primary benefit of the people. But then we are in one big shape and going to Liberia. We arrive at Freeport. the first thing we meet is resistance to change. Our own people don't want us. They fear that we're going to take their jobs. But it's the opposite. We are coming to create jobs.
Before you get there, what will it take? Because
What will it
you
take?
have people away alone doesn't cut it, right?
But
We don't-
then the government need to open the door and invite the expertise. Because let me tell you this: the expertise, the knowledge bank that is here is so vital and ready to help. But time is fleeting. We are aging. The amount of people you have right now that can turn our country around, they are enthusiastic and they have years of experience. Dr. Koffa, they have years of experience. They can just look at something and tell you why you have somebody, it's going to take 4 years to learn what they saw in minutes. But time is fleeting. Take advantage now and get this expert on the ground to set the thing up for our younger generation so that they can inherit a vibrant society, that they own their own minerals, they have their own mining company. That is the solution.
Yeah, I think Mr. Jar,
Yeah, I want to add to that.
Yeah.
What are the other countries doing that we are not doing for which we can have our own company? You know,
well, Mr. Jar, I think Dr. Mulabah summed it up very well. But if I may add, in discussing the issue, we should not forget what has been the flood of Liberia for centuries or perhaps
Right.
many decades. And that issue has always been transparency, accountability,
Correct.
and the willingness to bring in Liberia is not brain dream, like a lot of people said. It's the refusal of the people in the authority to accommodate
Correct.
those they know that have the knowledge to help. We've been talking this thing, at least let me just start from post-war era. There are many of these things that have been discussed on your show, and you've been doing a very terrific job to reach out to many good experts. And they have expressed similar concern either directly or in line. That if the government can open up on some of these things and learn and bring in people that they know are educated and understand these things and bring them in and form such a team to work alone. Let's take for an example. The president of the Republic of Liberia put in place a team, a task force called the carbon market. I had just written a book two months past when that team was put together, and they used almost the title of my book to create the team. I don't have issue with it, but if there were some people that would have reached out to me, okay, you did this job, can you work with us to do this thing? Never got a call. Yeah, I'm just giving an example, and I'm not patting myself on the back. But and there are many people like me who have done similar things, and for some reason, your people just think that you should cast them out. But that's not how a society works. Most of the companies that are doing this now, because you know what, they went and gathered their expertise, their own people, and brought them together and say how we can put this into practice to benefit our country. Not for them personally, but for the country. But in Liberia, that patriotism does not exist. It is me and only my little circle. And this is why we have been facing with, this is why Liberia is not developing after 2004. In the post-war era, when we make 2 steps forward, we come back 3 or 4 steps forward. So I think we can do it, but the government too has to play its role. It has to open up to its own people and bring the good minds together, and not to belittle anyone, but bring the good minds together to make an input to develop. And I think that has been lacking very, very much because we have represented Liberia in high places. COP28, other international conference on the issue of climate change, global warming, you can name it. You can name it. I mean, we didn't just get it and God just put these ideas in our mind. We learned them. We went to school, and so are the geologists. So are the mining engineers. And these are people in technical area. But has the government come together to say, you know what, these guys who are voicing out these things on behalf of our country, let's bring them together and see how we can make our country. But no, so the issue is with us. Our problem is ourselves and our government that do not want to be transparent, accountable, and other things. And lastly, most of them don't want to even bring us closer when there is contract we want to take to them that will benefit the country, because they know we will not sit down for them to take anything under the table. The people, most of them are corrupt, and it's hurting all of us. And this is where we are.
Yes, and Mr. Ja, we,
Yeah,
instead of- we keep
I have
talking about
I have a
the
separate question for you.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
From an engineering and national planning perspective,
Right.
how will a national mining company strengthen Liberia's ability to track production, negotiate better deals, and reduce the 2.7 billion discrepancy?
Okay.
Dr. Cooper, the same thing. You turn your phone sideways.
Liberia Mining Company, right? That means it's a nationalized mine, right? So we don't have any investor to exploit us. It is our own. We almost got it at National Iron Ore Company. President Samuel Kando took $50 million loan to revitalize the National Iron Ore Company, and that was 1981. The loan was concluded. At the end of 1981, we graduated with John there, and he insisted that we go. J.Y. Marcel, may his soul rest in peace. He was a geologist and our mining engineer. We went there not just for job. We went there to reinforce the Liberianization policy. Okay, but the problem was these white people, or how you call them, I call them neo-colonialists. They got all kinds of tactics to tie our hands. When they went for the loan in Canada, the people who provided the money as loan said, the condition is you have to take this company called Metchem. You have to return the loan to Metchem. So the government was forced to take it. So Metchem went and replaced the management that was there, and they took over NROC. Okay, then here came the trick. They saw that the president, the government was very adamant about Liberianization. So the government owned 85% of the mine. That means 85% of the staff will be Liberians. So JYR replaced some expatriates, they had to leave. Then when the management company saw that, and they had their own people, they were expatriates, and they saw the rising number of Liberian engineers, geologists, and they squandered the $50 million and said the money is finished. So the company closed 1985. You took a loan 1982, 81, 82, $50 million. In 3 years, then you say you finished? What they say? There's no ore there, which was false because we had just proven 200 million tons of new ore. But we left it there. So if you want to nationalize the mine, you cannot have the middleman. You cannot have the expatriate coming to tell you what to do. Because you have enough trained Liberian engineers, accountants, we can open up our own mine, and then our profit remain right here. Then we will have to do what we call iron ore processing here. You build a steel plant. So you don't export anything to be bottled with. You build a steel plant, you produce a steel raw here, you produce everything here, you will have surplus to sell to your neighbors. And any construction price should drop. So these are things. So you just not money in the ore. We want to insist, even if you can as a partner, build a steel plant before you even start. So we have to consume what we produce by converting them into iron products, steel raw, so that people, our local builder, can have cheaper material because it is their own material that will turn into a steel raw for them. You see, then the economy will grow. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Cooper, I want to hear your thoughts on the Liberia National Mining Company.
Okay, well,
other countries are doing it. What are they doing right and we're doing wrong?
with regard to Liberia establishing a mining company, I'm all for that. And also that instead of nationalizing the existing mining company, one option is to form a company and let it compete with the existing mining company, because The mining company in Liberia, they represent outside forces that have not been so kind to nationalization. For example, Chiquita Banana believe in Chile. They nationalized Chiquita Banana, and Allende from Chile, he was deposed. So when you nationalize company beyond a local, your destabilization is on the way coming for you. But you can form your company and compete with the existing company, change the regulatory environment, it's just competition. You went to the Liberian legislature, you changed the rule to favor you 25 years, that's fine. We're going to form a company, we'll go to the same legislature, we'll form our company, and we'll be buying iron ore to establish the steel mill. Talking of which, I did a research on steel distribution of steel mill in Africa. The same ArcelorMittal that is in Liberia, according to sources on the internet, own a steel mill in South Africa. So are they saying that the steel, that's iron ore from Liberia going to South Africa, process it, come back and sell it to us? Is that
Yes.
what's happening? It's out
Yes,
there.
that's what
We can't
happening.
prove
I
it.
can confirm.
But
I can
I'm all
confirm.
for that. But nationalization, I don't want to use that term, but I prefer creating a competitive environment to favor a Liberian iron ore company and compete with all other iron ore or gold mining company, diamond mining company out there. Competitiveness, we not take all.
So let's talk about the capital, right? Because we're talking money here. The Lajan. Also, another option is like we did with Lamco, joint venture. So these are our options. Talk to me about where we're going to get a capital from to have a company that will compete with this
I agree.
conglomerate.
Let me go first.
Yeah, I want you to go first.
Let me go first. The same capital that we
I
have.
can't hear him. I don't know why.
You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Are you
The
not
same.
muted?
Me?
Go ahead, Dr. Cooper.
Okay. The same capital that we have to pay people, we got to tighten our belts. You cannot have people building our country. We got to build our own country. So we got to tighten our belt. What if what if we propose to reduce paycheck by 50% across the board for all Liberians? We will generate some capital, and the fees that are coming from the mining company, you can generate some capital. You do that over a 5 to 10 year period. You should realize some money to form the company that will hire Liberians to put them to work.
What's about joint venture has another option, like we
Okay.
have with Lamco.
Can I answer that?
I want Dr. Cooper stay on the floor.
Oh, okay. Let me finish.
What was the question now, please?
Joint venture like we have with Lamco.
Yeah, joint venture, we've been there and done that, but we can restructure the joint venture. That's a possibility. We can restructure the wording in the joint venture that we will be training and elevating Liberians in this corporation so that over a 5 year period, it's all Liberians. So that's one way to operate a joint venture. Their investment in the company, we're going to pay them equitably equal to their investment. We're not going to nationalize and take their money. No, that's not what we're doing, but we're going to promote Liberian over a 5, 10 year period so that the company is Liberian. So it's a possibility, yes.
Okay.
Dr. Koffa, you can hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now, but I missed a large amount of.
Okay, Dr. Koffa, I will answer that question. So it be in line with Dr. Brutus. Okay. So what was the question, Chief Dennis?
No, you all talk about the lamp.
Oh, joint venture, you mean? Okay. So here, we are going to get rid of all this outdated concession model. It doesn't work. The new model is partnership. Partnership with the Liberian government. We bring our money, you bring yours. and we divide it in 50-50. This is no longer you come. I'll let you go and you go and take, and then you give me peanuts. Okay, like we've been saying over and over, these are non-renewable resources. Every mineral, gold, diamond, they are non-renewable. They don't grow like cocoa and coffee. When it's gone, it's gone. So we enter into a partnership. That's what the government is going to do. Government, then eventually, after we get enough experience, they will open up our own mind because we will have some money out of the partnership. And now, transparency, accountability and transparency.
Explain that partnership.
A partnership is where the government and an investor come together and bring their resources and mine the
like
money.
ArcelorMittal, that's what you mean?
ArcelorMittal is not a partnership with government.
It's too much.
No, I mean, who should government partner with? A company like ArcelorMittal, Bay Mountain?
No, when a new investor comes, but you can't change the concession agreement that you have now. But we are going to have a new company, iron ore mine to be open, or a new lithium. Anything forward become partnership, but you cannot go back and change the old concession agreement into partnership. You can't do that because you did not invest money from the beginning. But going forward, we have enough minerals. Going forward, anybody comes, say, I want to mine, we're not going to that old concession model. That's dead.
Dr. Mulabah, why you say we have enough mineral? We don't know. That's what you told me.
But we have iron ore. We have iron ore.
All right.
When I say we have enough mineral, listen, when I say we have enough mineral, before you start something, you have to do exploration. And you prove whether it's an economic deposit before you start. So if you start thinking about money, you should have already had those data. That's what I'm saying. I'm on the assumption that you have concluded that you're going to mine. You cannot conclude that you're going to mine if you don't have the data. So you go have to explore.
So let's talk about the money now, Dr. Mulabah.
Okay,
if Liberia build a real-time integrated mining database, how much revenue could the country realistically recover or prevent from leaking?
Okay, again, we will have control. For example, we will know
I want to talk about money.
No, I come in now. I'm going to answer you. Okay. We will have control over let's say we have a gold mine. We already that gold mine, the database of that gold mine is within the integrated database system. So the investor cannot tell me we finish mining 10 tons of gold because we have people there to also check. So we will control the amount of gold being mined. Right now, they can tell you that X amount of ton we mine, it could be 2 times X. You don't know. So that way we can also streamline corruption and make sure that we get our money. He cannot, we have people there, we pay people. They're there for that. And the concession agreement or whatever or partnership agreement states that the integrated database system team will be hand in hand collecting data with your people. So we will know exactly what you're doing and we'll know the value. And then it will be locked up in our database, which cannot be changed before higher authority. So you see, it will be locked down and it cannot be changed. So that accountability and transparency will be in effect on our side. But if the company try to give another data, we raise a red flag because we should have the same data. How come we're all moving together with the same tonnage? Then at the end, you say you got 50 tons less than mine. We raise a flag.
Mr. Jai, I like to add to what Dr. Cooper just said. Based on your question that you said we didn't have a lot of minerals, why you said it now? Now, I think there are a couple of research out there. The Chinese government did a research in Liberia and how they were able to determine, on 13 counties, that how they were able to determine the amount of lithium, that most of which located in the Foya area, where the confusion is now. And that visit of President Boyka to the United States with the 3 other leaders is an absolute indication that buttress the research that the Chinese government took place. And then after President Boyka left, there was a team from the U.S. that went to verify the natural resources. So yes, indeed, the lithium is there from all research. Part of it was somehow guesstimation, but it's fair to always guesstimate, which probably leads to the actuality of what is being assessed. And so there is a volume in terms of monetizing value of over $200 billion if that lithium it starts to be explored. And then there are other untapped natural resources that they saw, but no one have done anything about it. And so he's right. We got a lot of mineral resources that would be there, and that will be there as long, and some all would have expired by that time. It's still going to be there. So,
Also, I want to clarify something.
Let him finish.
Who? Okay, finish, Doc.
No, go ahead.
Okay. Honorable Dr. Jah.
Yeah.
When you hear a mining company is about to mine, there are previous steps that have been taken. They have done exploration and done qualification, and decide that it is indeed an economic mineral deposit. So once they say they mine, they know what they have. And we will be in line with that. We'll be in line with the exploration team. We'll be in line with the evaluation team. We'll be in line with the assessment team, with FE quantity. Then we will also confirm that, yes, this is an economic mineral deposit. Then when you hear they coming to mine, they already know what they have. So as compared to right now, we don't know what we have. We should have what we know. We should have some idea of what we have on documentation, location, quantity, quality. But when you hear they're coming to mine, they have done exploration and they have come to the conclusion that the ore body is an economic mineral deposit. That's what I'm referring to. So at that point, they should know before they start to mine.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us, this is focus on Liberia. We are discussing mining in Liberia. Who benefits? And it appears that we are not benefiting. The number to call is 605-313-6004. The code is 791-403. We are almost out of time. We want you to take part. So call that number. And when we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll talk about the way forward. So what do we do now as of today? What stopped us? And what can we do differently? We'll be right back.
Morning come, I open my eye. Empty stomach, empty pot, empty sky. I walk the whole water side, looking for work. Sun burning my back, pain burning my heart. My children crying, Papa, we hungry, but my two hands got nothing. God, you hear me? Even like Bobby door. I can't afford the cheapest thing in town. I can't afford. What kind of life is this? What kind of road? Every day I carry this unbearable load. Hey, hard time, hard time. Oh, Monrovia, we suffering too long. Hard time, oh, God do something, we can't go on. My hands are tired from holding on. You said trust you, but it's taking too long. Hard time, oh, hard time, oh, when this suffering going to be gone. Yeah, small girl had a dream, she want to be a nurse. Now she walk in Congo town at night, things turn worse. She not bad, she not wrong, she just trying to live. When the world take everything, what else she got to give? Her body is the only currency that pays. God forgive this world for putting her in this place. Single mama, enduring blows just to eat. Staying in this house, cause the street got no seat. Swallowing her tears just to feed her babies. Hard time turning love into something crazy. Hard time, oh. Monrovia, we suffering too long. Hard time, oh. God do something, we can't go on.
That's the song, Hard Time. God do something.
Yep.
Well, we're back. The number to call again is on the screen and it's scrolling in the text there. Please call and be a part of it. I think we
Are you
have
on mute?
one caller now. Caller, your name and where you calling from?
Yeah, hi, Dennis. You always do a great job. Emmanuel from Boston.
Well, thank you, Emmanuel, for calling.
Yeah. Yeah, Dennis, I've thought about this thing even as a child, that when we had those companies extracting our wealth and we did not have the expertise on the mines, Liberian stream, metallurgists, chemical engineers, and others, because I remember at the time, Eugene Shano, Albert Chier, Jonathan Mason, and those guys who were in that line of studies, they weren't even in Liberia those days. And even when they came back home, they were not employed to supervise those mines, to know what exactly was being taken out of our country. So I think it's about time now, being that it has been discovered, we still have a lot of mineral. Let's put some good money into education. At least train about 10 metallurgical engineers, 10 chemical engineers, civil engineers, not just for supervision, but also with the intelligence of how to industrialize this mineral. It will help us a lot, because when we go to sit down to negotiate, we have this expertise, and then we'll be able to determine from the negotiation how much share we get. Just imagine that we have been extracting our wealth, and our unemployment is still almost about 90%. I mean, we're losing trillions of dollars. My place over there in Camah, B Mountain, is about 600,000 tons of gold being extracted. If you do the math, that's almost $1 trillion. And you go to the area, B Mountain area, no hospital, no schools, no roads, nothing. We need to do that. We need to stop extracting the wealth and train Liberians to understand how to do this business. That's all I want to say.
Thank you. So, Doc, who benefits from the mining in Liberia, and what can we do? Nothing? Something? What is it? I want us to start from there. Dr. Cooper, who benefits?
Well, the investors that came and structured a contract and gave it to our people to sign, and they are reaping the benefit, and we are getting very little or nothing. So they do benefit, but one way to approach it is to go back to the negotiating table, like it was indicated earlier that ArcelorMittal came and called meeting and changed the contract. We can go to the table, call B Mountain, that our people are not benefiting. We hear the cyanide in their water, and they are getting very little or nothing. That brings to mind intergenerational equity. In other words, today's generation should determine how much gold do we really need to meet our needs so that we don't bankrupt or jeopardize the need of unborn Liberian generation 100, 150 years from now. So there need to be a balance between what we need to preserve for future generation of Liberian. That's the way to go about it. And calling B Mountain, the company, to the table to renegotiate is one way to start.
Thank you. And I want to push you a little bit, because I see, when you talk, I see experience, I see everything there. What is, because this is not the first time we're hearing what you just said. What has been stopping us all this time? Because it's been the same story.
You say what have been stopping us?
Yeah, from just achieving what you just articulated.
It's obvious. When Aselo Mattel go to the legislature, they get what they want. They go to your government representative, they get what they want. Is it now that you can't be hiding from this kind of thing? No, you can't do that. You don't know what have been stopping us. The multi-corporation got our people in their pocket. That will stop anybody. So to my mind, that's what I think. That's my opinion. That's what I think may be part of the hindrance that will stop us. Now that we don't know that this is harmful, we don't know that. I keep going back to this paper. 1 minute, please. Forest trend, rapid assessment of Liberia mineral industry, Liberia mineral sector. That paper laid out there who's getting the money and why, what's happening us. So it was published in March. Go to foresttrend.org. Foresttrend.org is laid out there. That what have been stopping us, or some of the major things that have been stopping us. That's what I think.
Thank you.
And
Dr. Koffa.
Yeah, and to add to that, Dr. Cooper is absolutely correct. We don't have our leadership does not have interest in its own people. The superintendent and the legislators are not speaking on behalf of their constituents. They go ahead and meet the people, and the sad part about it, like I said earlier, even at EPA level, with the kind of natural resource exploration that's going on, at least from the start of the post-war, EPA was never at the table when these deals are made. And they carry people who are not qualified, so they didn't speak to protect Liberia interests. And when they get in small thing, and you know what small thing mean in Liberia, they close their mouth, and that was the end of it. We've been talking about this thing for the past 25, 30 years. I'm talking about post-war era. I don't want to go back as far as 1847. But I'm talking about the post-war era. We talk about this thing on many shows, and thank God you've been very, very, very good in inviting Liberians with expertise to talk on the issue. We talk about it over, and I'm just frustrated. We know what the problem is. In respect to the mining sector, especially artisanal mining, there are people in government, they are represented in our counties who are taking this thing as pet project, and they use it. It is not police, it is not licensed. They are the one that causing the problem. They sit at the table and supposed to make decisions for the people, but they make it in their interest. As soon as they get a small thing, you know, the whole bundle of resources that are supposed to be coming to the people to help them, the schools, the healthcare center, and go down the go and breathe. So the problem is our leadership. We got to say
Dr. Koffa.
corruption. Yeah.
Dr. Koffa, the fact that it happens over and over. It started with the old man, then the young man who get a country at heart, and the pape. Does it mean that, I mean, we are powerless? We can't do anything about it? Why does it persist?
We are not powerless. But what happened is that we got a system of a government that try to stand up to speak for the people who are voiceless, you are targeted. And that is a system that is in place. Whether you like it or not, that is the fact. Those of us that run organizations like Africa Environmental, well, we've been in the system for over 20 years. We have traveled to Liberia. We have traveled to some of the counties. But the only way change can come is that the civil society have to make the decision. They have to replace the representative. And then the issue also falls on decentralization of the entire country, where the president should not be appointing the superintendent. Because if the president appoints a superintendent, he or she serves at the mercy of the president. And there's nothing goes on in the county if it doesn't meet the president's desire. We live in this country where we have governors. There's competition going on. Why is something like that can't take over? And what the smart politicians do in Liberia, they brainwash the people. The level of education that someone said 90%, you know, if the people are not educated, Mr. Ja, how do they rationalize and make good decisions? When time comes to go and get them back or red, smoke fish. The same people who have not done anything for their county, they turn around and vote for them. So there is a structural problem. Let us not deny it. It's not that people are not capable of doing it. If you go in Liberia now and get in the street and start shouting, the next day you will hear Mr. Ja, oh, they put Mr. X in jail, or they did something to him. So it's a structural problem. It's huge. It's beyond our control. But yes, we can straighten it up. If we can educate our people. Because even with the database we're talking about here, we collect money and build a system in place. If we get in Liberia, there will be a fight. But we can't give up. This is why we're using media like yours to talk about these things and how we can go along. The more people we get on board, I think the big difference we can make and we can succeed. We need to educate our people to use their civil duty to vote some of these people out.
Thank you. Dr. Mulabah, who benefits from our mining resources and what can we do about it?
Okay. I think the question should have an alternative. Who benefit and who should benefit? Who should benefit are the people. Who benefit depends on the concession agreement and who receive whatever it is, how little it is, who receives it. That's where the integrated database system comes in. We have independent records. We are there. The percentage is given. We know where it went. So if anything falls short, but when there's no alternative data source, this is what happened. This is what happened. But if you have an alternative data source, independent data source that can confirm, for example, let's say GSA start with 50 vehicles to an entity. We have the record. They have the records. If at the end of the year, the try to say is 45, we have a problem because your database is within our system. You only have a client access to it and you need to know. So there was no point where we gave you the order to remove a vehicle. There's no record in our database on GSA that a vehicle was approved to be removed. Then in your report, in your yearly report, you shot 5 vehicles, but we say you still have 20. So there's a flag that will be raised. It's like an audit, okay? Because you didn't have the chance to change the record on our side. You change it on your side thinking that it will populate over, but it couldn't because you didn't have the right to change. So you see, these are the steps we're taking. So if our database show from the finance department that the company pay X amount to the government for a certain period of money, or whatever it is, royalty or something, and we found out that amount of money that was reported in the budget at the Ministry of Finance is different from what we know, and we all were there and we saw it happening, then we have an alternative. The system is reporting something and you are reporting something else. There's no need to even argue. We call you, why do you have the discrepancy? Because you didn't have the right to change it. You change it on your side, but we don't have the change. And the change should be propagated and approved. So this is a vital role of an integrated database system. It's not only for mining, it is for every entity. EPA, education. For example, the Ministry of Education, they should have cameras in different schools where you sit at the ministry, you can see what's going on in the various institutions. Okay, then you confirm that indeed education is being given in the right way, and the teachers are there. They don't just come and sign paper and go away. You monitor. So we can also make sure that things are exactly what it is. We have the technology now, no excuse. We have everything. We have Starlink, we have other way to see things. We have AI, we have even professors like Dr. Koffa, they can stay right here. They don't have to go to Liberia to teach our young people remote. No more excuse. Call the expert from here. Let them go help you manage the system, reduce corruption, increase efficiency. Liberia has enough mineral that even the iron ore alone can take us somewhere. If we really be serious, they need to be serious about this accountability and transparency. Embrace the idea of data integrated base that we're trying to do. It's meaningful. It sounds way far-fetched right now, and this is what we're going to do. We're not going to just cover Liberia. We're going to take a pilot project, maybe 3 or 4 ministries, and demonstrate to the government that we can increase efficiency, increase revenue generation, and minimize corruption. And when they see that it can work, then we bring in other agencies into the database system. With that, we promise security, integrity, accountability, and transparency. This are stand on, and it can be done. But it's left with them because time is fleeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I want to appreciate your time tonight. We are out of time. We will now go around your horn for your closing. Anything you want to add or any recommendation? I want us to leave from here tonight with a solution. What do we do? So let's go around the room, counterclockwise, Dr. Koffa, Dr. Mulabah, and Dr. Cooper. Let's close.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Jai. Thank you to your entity and to my colleagues and also to your listening audience for giving us attention. I think there's a very meaningful conversation with respect to database or integrated database system. I think it means a lot, and the government will not lose anything by giving us the cooperation and how this thing can get off the ground. And the result would be unmeasurable in terms of benefit, the resources coming to our country, the environmental impact that it also associated with further the exploration can be quantified and can be evaluated, that it can be managed, and even early warning system from disaster management perspective can be incorporated in that too. And thank to Dr. Cooper and Dr. Mulabah for eloquently speaking on this subject matter. They are the giant. I'm just happy to be the environmental guy. And also thank you, Mr. John, for always allowing us. And we are very proud of you and wish you all the best. And I think that my conclusion, I would say, let us work together. Let's develop new ideas. One of the things we want to engage in is the issue of sabbatical program of teaching people at the university remotely. I think one thing that Dr. Mulabah mentioned, and I have the opportunity to have talked to the president of the University of Liberia, and such a thing would be advised as I go to the next meeting in Massachusetts to discuss the LS8 event. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Mulabah, your closing.
Okay. Okay. His Excellency, President Joseph Numa Boakai Sr., we the experts abroad are ready to carry Liberia forward. So we come to you with this concept of a Liberia Integrated Database System, LRDS. The details can follow, but we guarantee that if we implement this, many good things will come to Liberia. And we have the experts. We are ready. Now, there are 2 organizations I would like to mention here that are also working in the primary interest of the Liberian people. Okay, the first one is Council of Liberian Experts in the Diaspora, COLAD. They have clusters of well-seasoned Liberian experts who can look at something and tell you in a minute what a young graduate will take years to learn. But as I said before, this bank is not forever. It's going to close at some point because we are aging. And let's face the fact. And when that knowledge base goes, it will be another struggle. So again, we are ready. We've been ready since yesterday. The other organization is the Council of Liberian Experts in the Diaspora, the acronym is COLLED, and it's led by Dr. Robert Sherman. Okay. The second group is the Diaspora Liberian Development Initiative. And they have this brilliant dream of remittance. The details can be followed by contacting the president, Dr. Prince Yekesen. And you can get his number from FOL. He's very passionate about this. In fact, whenever I call him, the only thing I can hear from him is DRDR. Maybe he dreams about it. So he's so passionate that we are passionate about this Liberia Integrated Database System. Okay. And the acronym is DRDR, led by Dr. Prince Yekesen. Okay. All the various organizations here, as I said before, we all have one denominator, and that's Liberia. And what is all getting? FLA, EULA, all of them, they all want to do something good for Liberia. And if that's the case, we are coming on one big ship to Liberia. This is imaginarily. We're going to land at the free port or whatever port that will accommodate us. Fellow Liberians there, our brothers and sisters, drop the resistance to change, accept us, and we are going to be there, not taking jobs from you, but we're going to create jobs and generate revenue for this country by using this database system to carry Liberia forward. That's all I have to say. Thank you for hosting us, Dennis.
Well, thank you. I would like to add that certain rocks in Liberia should be considered as commercial bank. Mineral deposit in those rocks are cash in the bank. So when you keep mining the mineral, it's like taking money out of your bank account. You need to go back and check your bank balance. So they call that mineral inventory.
Correct.
So you got to check it's irresponsible to keep mining and don't know your account balance. So there's a need to check how much do we have, what do we have now. A computer database that need to print, you just go and press button and print a report, total number that go in Liberia, there's that quantity, diamond, there's that quantity. So that brings me to the resource extraction tracking system, RETS, which will be a subpart of the integrated database. Geologic information, mining data, and all that will be housed in the resource extraction tracking system. And we'll use geographic information system, issuing permit to exploration and mining people. You have to have coordinate of where you're going to mine. You can't just give him permit to go dig hole anywhere. That got to stop. That's irresponsible. If you do that, you don't expect to know what it is he's digging on and where is he going with it. Finally, intergenerational equity. We got to determine how much Liberian generation today need and balance that with the need of future generation coming 100 years after us. Imagine if from J.J. Robert time to Todmore time, if all the gold, diamond, and lumber were gone, we would be in bad shape. That's a concept we have, and thank you for having me. I'll be glad to join and make contribution. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your expertise. You know, with all your expertise, you make me look good. And that's why people, I got a call, say, oh, no, he posted thanking Focus on Liberia. He said, because he's Bandy, but he can't speak Bandy because he's never been there. He said, but I know the history because I watch Focus on Liberia. And so most of these you are all experts for taking time off your business schedules to always be here, honor our invitation. We are happy. You know, begin call you come. So that's a big deal for all of us. And I want to thank our viewers for watching. And if you are watching, you know, doing this thing is very hard. Sometimes we want to give up. So anytime you have some you have some loose, no, it's not loose change. You have some cash, anything to give us, please don't hesitate. So we can keep the lights on. We have our cash app and our Zelle.
Yes.
It's always there. $MOL Media. That will help us to keep the lights on and also take care of our people in Monrovia.
You deserve it.
When you're doing this, you have to subscribe to all kinds of different things, all kinds of tools to keep things going. I want to again thank all of you. We don't close the broadcast here without playing our song that says we are all Liberians. Whether you are in the diaspora or in Liberia, we are all Liberians. Whether you support UPP, LPP, ZPP, UP, CDC, we are all Liberians.
They will all be part. They will all be part.
We are all Liberians. What is to do our very best to make our country the glorious land of liberty. Have a good night and God bless you. We are all Liberians.
We are Liberians. Liberia is our home. Liberian people. Liberia.